and then you're not going to.
You want to know what he's actually, he's not orchestrating criminal activity when he's talking to his members or whatever, though. He's actually asking them for money. What are y'all doing out there? Are y'all
And what do they say they're doing out there? Working and going to school? Okay. Okay.
That sounds crazy. A lot of them, I mean, the ones that I talk, they have jobs.
They may have jobs, doesn't mean they ain't gangbanging, it doesn't mean they ain't doing dirt. And I'm not saying you're doing it, but here's the thing. Look, man, like I said, if you don't know nothing about nothing, then I can go get breakfast, dude. You know what I mean? I like you. I've only known you for an hour, and I think you seem like a good dude. You just don't want to talk, and I get that. I do. Look, man, if you don't think that, then you don't know me, and you don't know me, but you don't know anything about me. And here's the point, dude. You know, it's up to you. It's up to you. You're the one sitting here in jail. I'm going to be walking out of here in a few minutes, right? This is your chance to talk or not. I don't want to take a guy away from his family. That's not something I enjoy. I don't even know the depth of your involvement in all this stuff, but you do. You know exactly what you've been involved in.
Involvement is making three-way calls. What they talk about on the phone is giving him money.
Do you want to talk about the gang's activity or not?
As far as what?
As far as any criminal activity that the gang has done. Anything. Anything. And it's not like I don't know the pirates commit crime, right? I mean, you know, do you want to even go there at all? If you don't, then I'm going to go get breakfast.
How can I go there, sir, and I don't? No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. If you don't want to talk about any criminal activity from the gang, then...
I don't know, sir. I don't know.
That ain't true. And you and I both know that's not true. And I'm good with that. That's
not true. Sir. The 15-minute conversations are the only line of communication. I'm not with them. So you're asking me to talk about the gang or the criminal activity. How when I'm not there?
Okay.
So I'm raising my family.
Then let's back it up then and talk about not criminal stuff. Does the gang have an organizational structure?
No.
They don't have any organization. So what Muscle doesn't have any kind of a rank?
No, Muscle is just who started 8.
So he started 8 gang. Yes. And there are people that are underneath him. So he's the leader.
Yes, sir.
Who else is in leadership?
Yeah, SOS. One of the dudes that I called.
Okay.
He was in leadership, and one of his who was in leadership before that, who I used to call before SOS, he's locked up.
Okay. Who's that?
Hurt.
And how many people do they have under them?
So I don't know numbers.
Okay.
I have no numbers.
Yes. How many would you estimate?
20, 30.
20 or 30 people, and they're all in Atlanta? Or where?
I don't know.
You don't know. So these guys are in Atlanta, they're organizing people, you have no idea where they are. You're okay, well let's go back to, let's stay with non-criminal stuff. Let's stay with non-criminal stuff. What are the gangs identifiers? How do they identify themselves? What blood lingo do they use? You said you know the lingo, what lingo do they use?
Just what you
Which one?
From what I know, all of them have their different ones.
So what do you hear when they pick up the phone and call? This is not criminal, right? Like,
I mean, they don't do it over the phone. That's for what you're talking about. That's more for like in-person stuff.
they do stuff over the phone. I listen to phone calls.
Okay, you're asking me what I witnessed.
Okay.
They don't do it over the phone.
Okay. You said that you know the lingo when they're talking on the phone. You
talking
said
about I've seen you in prison. I
when
said
they're
that.
talking about the phone calls, you said, oh, I understand the lingo, I know what they're talking about. You said that. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm saying, we go back to the conversation when you first started talking about the three-way phone calls. You said, I usually put the phone down. I said, sometimes you hear. You said, yeah, sometimes I hear. And I said, they'll be talking back and forth, whatever. And you said, yeah, I get the lingo. I understand what they're saying.
I mean, just if they use lingo, like the way
So
when you say
so say 90, right, okay, so 90 on the phone. What kind of lingo do they use in person?
in a prison, just
I'm talking about 8 gang.
I haven't dealt with them in person like that. I don't, none of the 8 gangs is in one around.
Okay.
And I'm not in Atlanta unless.
Tell me about 359. What does that stand for? Trade 59.
It doesn't stand for nothing. It was just numbers on the ENT. What if it has any deeper meaning? I swear to God, I don't know about it.
So you're saying you have 359 tattooed on your arm, Trade 59 is the name of the entertainment company, but it means nothing. It's just literally 3 numbers picked out of the air.
I'm also probably could tell the indefinite meaning or whatever like that, but.
Okay, well, what does Pyru mean?
Someone showed me. I can't remember.
Where does the name Pyru come from? Do you have any idea?
I I didn't do my history on Power Rangers and stuff like that.
What color did Pirates wear?
They were red.
Right, but what else? Usually wear some burgundy too. Maybe you guys didn't do that, but they were wearing red. Okay. You didn't learn any other pirate stuff.
No, sir. I was brought aboard for the position.
Okay, and you have no idea anything about Trade 590 or what the 3 means or anything like that? Okay. So this is my point, like, you're sticking with this, I don't know nothing about nothing if you do.
I mean, I don't
This is
know
not even
the
criminal stuff, it's just, what does 359 mean? I mean, like, nothing really?
Sir, I was given no meaning for it, sir.
Okay.
This is the label that he said Montana said we were rocking with. And you get close with people in prison when you spend that much time with them.
I believe it.
You know, and I mean, these were decisions made in prison. This wasn't something that I came home and did.
You spend all that time with them, getting close to them in prison, and they come up with this number, and you never even thought to ask, well, you know, why? Why 359? Really? Come on, man. Like I said, if you don't want to talk about it, say, I don't want to talk about it. But don't tell me you never would have asked that question and you're stuck in the cell with the dude.
He couldn't tell. Montana didn't know.
Okay, so who came up with the number then? You just said Montana came up with the whole thing and said this is what we're rocking with.
Montana introduced me to it. This is Muscles thing. A-Gang is Muscles. You know that.
But you're linked with Montana.
That's how I got introduced
To Muscle.
A-Gang.
Right. And you never asked him where did this come from. Okay. Well,
I mean, where it came from Muscle. What it stood for? No, it didn't.
that's what I mean by where it came from. Oh, what drawing that for you?
Nothing else, sir.
Well, I mean, just looking at him.